All right, dear viewer, many thanks to you for joining us on the show, The Arena, on Aneke Television today. My name is Chris Anibogo, welcoming you on board your regular platform where we meet to take on burning and topical issues and matters which faces us as a people in society. Yes, on this platform, we host analysts and guests who come to offer their thoughts and their opinions on these issues and matters, all geared towards engendering better society for every one of us. So you're welcome on board. Yes, today we are beaming our searchlight on a very important political matter. Recently, we saw the members of the National Assembly take visits to the various geopolitical zones in the country, where they went to collect public opinion on silent political issues and matters in the bid for constitutional review in the country. Yes, you know that the constitution we've been running with in the country is the 1999 constitution, which a lot of persons have said needs to be reviewed. All right, so on the show today, we are joined by a man with great wealth of experience, especially in political issues and matters. He's a public affairs analyst. He's the principal lecturer in the Department of Public Administration, IMT, that's the Institute of Management and Technology, here in Enugu, as well as the Coordinator Advocacy for Good Governance, Southeast, Honorable Dr. Nwanze Emeka. Doc, you're welcome to our studios today.
I'm glad to be in Aneke TV today.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, dear viewer, so you sit back as the discussion unfolds. Let's begin on this note, sir. Yes, we are looking at a constitutional review. But first and foremost, let's lay the background. When we say constitution, what exactly are we looking at, especially at this level now?
Holistically, constitution is a body of principles of rules and regulations. It may be written, it may be unwritten, by which a state is governed. By extension, it could be organizations and associations, but it is a document that controls and paves way for every nation, every association to have their ethical conduct. So without this constitution we're talking about, then people will misbehave. People will not lay claim to anything. Like, it means when we're talking about constitutional review, which means there is an existing constitution ab initio.
All right, so constitution could be in different types. It could be written, it could be unwritten. And right now in Nigeria, we know that we have the written constitution running for us. What makes it a written constitution?
What makes it a written constitution is that it is embedded in a document. Like, if I say I need Nigerian constitution, there is a document that I can say this is Nigerian constitution. It is not like in British constitution that is unwritten. That is because it's unwritten, you cannot lay claim to a particular document. It is a written constitution because it is documented.
It is documented.
Yes.
Okay, now over time we've seen where Nigeria has been governed by a constitution, beginning from the days of the colonial masters in our clime. We've seen, I wouldn't be able to trace it how they came, but I know of MacPherson Constitution at a time, Lighton Constitution at a time, where are they? And the rest of them before we even had our independence. Now, I don't know for you, which of the constitutions from the beginning till where we are now, 1999, would you say is best for Nigeria?
1999 constitution, as amended. Let me say this. Let me shock you. If anything is embedded in mistakes, that mistakes continue to grow until it is corrected. Now, let us go back to the preamble of Nigerian constitution.
Go ahead, sir.
The preamble says, we, the people of Federal Republic of Nigeria, do have this as our constitution to become one indissoluble, indivisible entity known as Nigeria. I want to tell our viewers that this preamble is embedded in fallacy because you and I was not part of that constitutional makeup.
But people represented us.
That is
every one of us couldn't have gathered.
That is where the problem comes. And the people that makes that constitution are not experts. There is something I believe in expertise. I believe in professionalism. I don't believe in mediocrity. And because those who are not more knowledgeable in making that constitution have made that mistake. That is the reason amending the constitution through constitutional review becomes a sine qua non, becomes inevitable, becomes timely, or else we'll be in state of motion in this country without moving. And the earlier we address some salient proposals as made by stakeholders over 1999 constitution as amended, we will be in this country, and the same thing that happens in yesterday will continue to happen. Remember, Aristotle says that for you to know what will happen, you must know what has happened. One of the stakeholders wrote a book and said, where the rain started beating us is in that constitution.
Now, a lot of discussions, have come up from time to time, where experts have told this your path of saying that the 1999 Constitution is rooted on a very faulty foundation. But then the question again is, yes, we understand it is a constitution that came from the military. Okay?
Sure.
It came from the military. But then we understand also that the military got a team of civilians together. Some of them senior advocates of Nigeria. I don't know if Professor Ben Wabe,
part of it.
I don't know if it was part of it.
Williams.
You understand. There was a gathering of, team of experts who came together and drafted the Constitution.
Can I shock you?
Shock me, sir.
He that pays the piper dictates the tune. These constitutional giants, constitutional lawyers we have just mentioned cannot do without the biddings of their paymasters. And their paymasters at that time were the military dictators. And now we are in civilian, or do I call it in another dispensation? And let me also say this. Constitution is like a culture. Any culture that is static dies over time. And any constitution, because it has to do with aspiration to make the people whose the constitution is meant to change their lives, change their condition, provide security, protect fundamental human rights. If things are moving and it is not changed from time to time, things are bound to not to be okay. In those days, 1999 as amended is 1979 Constitution as amended in 1999. There are so many things that have taken place. The political patterns have changed. Tech is inclusive. Security situation as of 1979 and 1999 today is not the same thing. That security have become one of the proposals of this constitution we are talking about to be reviewed. And other things like electoral reforms. Are we going to be participating in the former electoral pattern of 1979 or in 1999? Things are changing. And if we discuss, and if this constitution are amended, like let me use electoral reform for an instance. People who have diaspora voters, I believe that 20% of Nigerians are not in this country. They are living in abroad. So they can participate by voting. Also, there's what we call independent candidature. It's not a must that you will run through political party. You can have independent on a zero-party platform. There are so many things. Now, we are claiming, that we are practicing federalism. The federalism we are practicing today as of that 1979 as amended in 1999 is a quasi-federalism. It's not a true federalism. But when we begin to talk about that, I will talk more on what true federalism is all about. And I will also talk on physical federalism. And these are the things where people are becoming agitating through knowledge. Because knowledge gives you power to agitate for your rights. If your rights are being denied, it is only your knowledge of that right that will give you the impetus to agitate. And so many other things. Equity in political participation. I'm not talking of equality. I'm talking of equity. Women are not inclusive. Inclusivity means that they should be part of and parcel of the current day politics, either by appointive position or by elective position. These are the things why today the agitation is increasing in geometrical progressions.
Thank you very much. Quite an interesting discourse. Well, I don't know. You've actually taken us to areas of critical national concern. And over time, we've seen where different administrations in Nigeria have come up with proposals for national confab. We saw it happen during the era of the former President Matthew Arimo Obasanjo's regime, down to the days of Goodluck Jonathan. I think that was the last we had. 2014. These are critical national issues, burning national issues. But then, I wouldn't know for you, Dr. Nwanze, the 1963 Constitution of Nigeria.
Independence Constitution.
63 should be the Republican Constitution.
Republican Constitution.
Republican
right,
Constitution. Yeah. Between the 1963 Republican Constitution, the 1979 Constitution, and the 1999 Constitution, which will you say is most suitable for Nigeria?
Is 1979 Constitution. Now, most of the problems we're having in the previous constitutions is if you don't inculcate the value systems, the normative, do I call it nomenclature of the citizens, and makes a constitution and think that they will follow. It doesn't work like that. It is even in 1979 Constitution that the people were inculcated. In 1963 Constitution and other previous constitutions, starting from Clifford 1922, that gave us elective principles, the people that are supposed to be the beneficiary of the constitution are not inculcated. Why? The people that the white men, the colonial masters, did that constitution in such a way that it serves their selfish aggrandizement. And that is the reason. And if, like in America, where we borrowed presidential system, and this system is working for them because of strong institutions and because of their value systems, which they tend to protect. Now, if we make any constitution, whether 79 and whether 99, and we don't have strong institutions, and a kind of put into that's what we call local content into consideration, it won't work, because there are certain things that works in America. If you borrow it and put it in Nigeria, it is not going to work. So whatever constitution, whatever amendments we are going to do must have into consideration local content, must have into consideration culture, people's belief on what is obtainable. Because when you are managing human being, that's what we call humanistic idiosyncrasies, which is not 1+1. Because of human beings are very, they're kind of complex in nature. So the rules that works in America, that works in UK, their parliamentary system of government, may not work here. So whatever we are doing is contingent on environmental ecology. If we don't put the environmental contingencies into consideration, if you amend this constitution from now till Jesus comes, it's going to be in error. And that is the reason why the touring of the geopolitical, 6 geopolitical zones we have in Nigeria.
Like the National Assembly.
Yes, the National Assembly is going around to get stakeholders' view, to get even not just stakeholders, commoners' views about the essence of making a constitution effective to serve the aspirations and alignment of the people whose constitution is meant to serve. The constitution is not meant to serve the government, it's meant to serve the people and to make life better for the people, so that what they are not enjoying in the past, they can enjoy it in the present and enjoy it in the future.
In the future. Well, Dr. Nwanze, I get the signals from the producer that we need to go on a very quick break, but the break promises to be very short. When we return, we'll look critically into more areas on this matter. But then before we go on this break, I just want to get it from you. Let the viewer hear from you. Would you recommend constitutional review for 1999 Constitution, or would you want a brand new Constitution for Nigeria now? Is it amendment or a brand new one?
For now, let's go for amendment.
Let's go for amendment.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll pause it there now. So dear viewer, we'll return on the arena after this time out. Remember, you're on Aneke TV. Don't go away. right, dear viewer, many thanks to you for being with us, and thanks for returning on the program, The Arena on Aneke Television. Just before we went on that short break, I told you that we are having the honor of the presence of Honorable Dr. Nwanze Emeka, a public affairs analyst as well as the coordinator advocacy for good governance Southeast, talking to us on constitutional review. So back to you now, sir. In earlier discussions, we've been able to lay background into what the Constitution is supposed to be, how far, how well have we gone with our constitutions from the word go, from independence till now. So now I want to look critically. The 1999 Constitution is here. You said before we went to that short break that for you want an amendment of the Constitution. And currently, we have the members of the National Assembly touring the six geopolitical zones to get feeds from the society on what and what should be entrenched in the Constitution moving forward. This exercise, do you see it as necessary?
It's a step in
because this is not the first time we are having something like this from the National Assembly. Each National Assembly that comes on board,
let me shock you.
We see them doing this, doing the same part. So
let me shock you.
Go ahead, sir.
It is a step in the right direction. But remember that this process is a process that faces a lot of challenges, both seen and unseen. Because there are people, stakeholders, that if we do the proposals of this constitution, it will not go down well with them because of their selfish inclinations, because of their selfish aggrandizement. People like, let me give you instances, if you devolutionize powers, those people in Abuja may be without a work, maybe without what they are doing currently, maybe cutting away resources and all that, because the state is going to harness the resources. And it even take care of what we call resource control. This is the reason. So sometimes it faces sabotage. So my prayer is that having thought or storing the six geopolitical zone, that those political gladiators will not sabotage the process. But if the process are done according to our aspiration, according to people's feedback, because in communication there is what we call systems theory. In the systems, it goes in as inputs, in the general, yes, go through process, come out as feedback, go back again. So it is encyclical. So what they are now testing is feedback from stakeholders, from people who are supposed to enjoy the constitutional amendment. But there are some people seated out there who want to sabotage and deflate the effort of the National Assembly. Remember that 40 bills have also been treated by the House of Representatives before they now assumed the red carpet, decided to go to 6 geopolitical zones. And after that, it doesn't end there. They are still going to give it to 24 states because the process is third majority of National Assembly who is going to talk about the amendment. But after touring the 6 geopolitical zone, it will still come back to 36 states where the legislators, House of Assembly, will also adopt it and make it to become active. And that is where implementations, that is how implementation, because it has passed through other processes before the amendment will now become effective.
All these protocols, are you not seeing that's where there are going to be bottlenecks, where there are going to be, failures, disappointment? That has always been the case in the past.
The truth is that
what's going to be different this time around?
He that comes to equity must come with clean hands.
That's right.
There is always a bottleneck attached in governance. There is always a bottleneck attached in administration. But this time around, it is the powers that be. I mean, the powers that be should make it a reality.
Considering the period we have now, 2 years is gone for this administration.
The time frame is between now and December 2025 is the time frame that we are given to wrap up the process of the constitutional review. So I believe we are in July. Before December, there is something positive will come out of it.
Something positive will come out of it.
I'm very, very, very
we need to be
optimistic.
positive about this time around. So specifically speaking, what could we say should be the relevance of this constitutional review?
There's so many relevance of this constitutional review. I begin with electoral reform. I begin with federalism, the practice through federalism. Now, I also believe in democratic principles. Now, let me talk on electoral reform.
Go ahead, sir.
If the review is taken in place and it is approved to become a working document, our brothers that lives abroad can vote. And we can have what we call independent candidature to run elections.
When you say our brothers, those of them in the diaspora.
Yes.
But then, will that not amount to bringing on board what do you call it, electoral voting system?
Yes. You know, our electoral, that's part of electoral reform. When they can stay there and exercise their franchise.
Voting system.
That is, we have been practicing electronic voting system, which refused to work.
That's what I'm saying.
As a result of systemic corruption.
So
yes.
when we've not been able to harness.
In the last election, there are certain things that Nigeria expended money electronically so that the elections should be free and fair. But at the end of the day, those things did not work, and the electoral results were still, manipulated through manual, precedents. So now, if we have this reform now of a truth, the system will work electronically, and this is what is in vogue. In United States of America, it is applied. In UK, there are citizens that stays abroad. But these things has to do with change of mindset.
You're going too far. You're talking about US and UK. What about some African countries in recent
Okay, now that's what I'm saying. Because these are the things. That's the essence. I said it ab initio. That the essence of this review is that things are changing. And if it is not changed, then the change will not change. Now, if we reform the electoral aspect of this country, remember last elections was bedeviled by a lot of abnormalities, a lot of malpractice, electoral malpractice. Then I want to also talk on federalism. In true federalism, the state harnesses the resources that is incumbent in their geopolitics, environment, and pay a stipend to the center. But here, the opposite is the case. The federal government harnesses the resources and pay a stipend to the state.
The states that are meant to be the landlords of these resources?
Yes, this also, I want to use this to also address local government autonomy.
Right.
The local government autonomy says, one of the proposals in this ongoing constitutional review says that local government they propose that local government should be autonomous, where they get their resources directly from the federal account without midwifing it by the state government. This will have a long way to boost sustainable development. It will make local government chairmen that is in their local government in their region to work more. Then again,
the news report today says that after 1 year of the Supreme Court ruling on financial autonomy for local governments, that governors, state governors, are still holding on to the money. And in the evaluation, I think is over, well, let me not say.
But if autonomy,
it has run into
if local government are given autonomy, if they are autonomous, the state governors will not have that control. That's what we are talking about. Now let me shock you for that. Everybody knew, even the child, even a baby inside her mother's womb, even everybody is no longer a secret that today what makes Nigeria is insecurity. It is even affecting foreign investors not to come to Nigeria. It's even affecting people that are Nigerians. They sleep with their eyes open. It is affecting agricultural produce. You go to Benue, go to Jos, they will always have what we call political, brouhaha, instability, killings. People don't go to farm again because of insecurity.
That's right.
And one of the aspiration or one of the proposals of this constitutional review is state policing. It will devolutionize powers. It will no longer be Nigerian police. The state will now be empowered to have their own police system, to be involved in proactive security control.
You know what really baffles me most of the time, Dr. Nwanze, is the fact that we allege that we copied from the American style But then I understand that in comparative political analysis, that what America does is actually, are you with me?
Yes.
A different thing entirely from what we are doing here. For instance, on resource control, resource control, the states in America are responsible for their resources.
That's one thing we are talking about.
But in Nigeria, it is the federal government that is in charge of the resources.
Yes.
In America, we understand that states have their own police system.
That is.
But you have the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Intelligence, at the top.
Yeah.
But here, you just have one police system that is chiefly controlled by the national government. So I really don't know. Let's look at the implications of this constitutional review. What do you think?
The implications is as good as the good advantages, which I have enumerated.
I understand.
And if these things are, do I call it, taking place, implemented or approved to become a working document, I will tell Nigerians that are under my voice that certain things, it will strengthen democratic principles.
Why I actually asked you this question, when the team of National Assembly members came to Enugu here, we understand that the governor of Enugu State, Dr. Pitamba, actually made a case for the southeastern people of Nigeria, where he said that the imbalance in the number of states is actually an error that needs to be corrected. For instance, every other geopolitical zone in the country has 6 states, whereas Northwest has 7. But Southeast has just 5. So I don't know why I asked you about the implication is, are you not seeing a situation whereby maybe this review process is going to bring up wounds that have already been healed, bring up, I don't know.
The truth is that
bring up issues that may begin to want to tear us further apart.
Part of why we are looking for constitutional review is for equity, is for to reduce inequality. We are sidelined. The Southeast is not enjoying what others are enjoying. So that demand is timely. That demand is okay. Because even in Igbo, there is this song they sang sometime, Emelundeba. Now, if other states are 6, it is high time Southeast becomes also 6 as part of the change that we are looking at, as part of the amendment, because I was doing research. I said creation of more states to strike a balance is part of the constitutional review. And as I speak, there is some proposals or bills to create another state in the East. It is now onus on the federal government, it is onus on the National Assembly to quick fasten the bills so that the federal government can make one more state. I am also proposing for one more state, not just the governor of Enugu State, for one more state for the Southeast, so that we can come to the level of equilibrium, so that we can come to the level of egalitarianism, so that we can come to the level of equity. And this, if it is done, will also going to be a plus for the current government, because the essence of government, according to Abbas Camus, is to give to the people what they cannot give to themselves. I, or governor of the state, Enugu State, cannot create additional state to add to Southeast. It has to pass through the process. And the process is what is ongoing. And I'm saying is, let it not be a nip in the bud like the previous moves to have one additional state. It's the same military who did the mistake in the previous years in the constitution we are trying to amend now that did that inequality in creation of states. Because from history, all the creations of states have been in the military dictatorship.
And we know where the military dictators are coming from.
And if it is an error done in the military dictatorship, I want to also say the current dispensation is not a military dispensation. It is a democratic dispensation. And democracy is whereby people's views are held in high esteem, whereby representation takes place more than, do I call it selections. So, and we are saying that one more state is good in order to strike a balance. If the federal government wants to create more states, let it still be in state of equilibrium. And if you are giving other states 1 to make it 7, they should give Southeast 2 states at once. And that will fast track even development and sustainable
We looked
development.
at electoral reforms. We looked at injecting diaspora voting participation. We looked at the place of independent candidates. All of this comes under electoral reforms. Now we've equally looked at the proposal by the Enugu State Governor for the creation of additional state for the Southeast. And my worry, but then you've cleared it, my worry is wouldn't all of these things, the process of this constitutional review, amount to opening up old wounds that have been buried somewhere? But you said we need to trash these things. As we begin to wind off now on the show, I wouldn't know. For you, do you think we should look at rotational presidency in Nigeria? Or do we leave it for...
I've said so many things about the presidency rotation in Nigeria. We said something before, either before we started or when we started, about confab, Constitutional Conference.
That's right.
1914 Constitutional, before 2014 Constitutional Conference, there is a Constitutional Conference that was headed by Justice Taribi White. And one of their recommendations is rotational president on the basis of South-North divide. But I want to also say that if we want to, Igbo people say, if we begin to be friends, let's remove, the aspect of being cunning in it, so that the friendship will have a strike of balance. Now, if we want to propose rotational presidency, it is not going to be South-North divide. It is going to be on the 6 geopolitical zones, so that we will strike a balance and equality. Because if you say South-North, sometimes it is being predominated by North-West, North-East. The North-Central may not have the power for decades or for years. Then when we say South, on the South-North, the South-East have not seen the power. Not even since 1999. I was in Radio Nigeria and we were discussing and I was analyzing. From 1999, the power moves from South to West, but it moves from Southwest to North, either North Central, Northeast, Northwest. But if we want to be true to ourselves, the power should move from the 6 geopolitical zone, whereby every geopolitical zone within 24 years should experience power for once. Yes, because you will agree with me now that when power shifts to the North now, North Central will still be agitating. But even in the military dictatorship, the North Central have produced presidents. Then in this current dispensation, the East is sidelined with the marginalization of this one state, which they are still owing us since the creation of states. In the research that I've done, the creation of states started since during the time of Yakubu Gowon.
That's right.
Till the date, to the last person that created states in this country is Abacha in 1996. The creation of Delta states and Ebonyi State, the sort of the nation. But then, these things are still asymmetrical. So if it must move, if I'm proposing rotational president, let the presidency rotate not just on Southeast, but on the 6 geopolitical divide. It is the country that gave this 6 geopolitical divide. In the South, we have 3. Southwest, South-South, and Southeast.
That's right.
In the North, we have Northwest, Northeast, and North Central. So you should move within that. And not even, there's one other thing that is on ground about, power, tenure of office in terms of re-election. If you ask me,
would you want a single term?
Just
6 years? Or
one
do we
single
continue
tenure.
with the 4
6
years?
years is too much. 5 years, single tenure is okay. So that the rotation could go round the geopolitical zone. If the powers that be are maintaining parochial interests, if any group or region gets the power by way of rotation, they can also use parochial interests to develop their own region. If it is on a state of equilibrium, let power and the resources of the country to be shared. Remember, when equals are assigned unequal, conflict must arise.
And now, on a conclusive note, I think our time is up. That's the signals I'm getting. But we'll not let you off. In the next 30 seconds, at the end of this whole review by the National Assembly, the buck ends on the table of Mr. President. Do you see the current president to having the political will to appending the signature on whatever becomes the outcome of this constitutional review?
Can I shock you?
Shock me
If
again,
the
sir.
current president of Nigeria could say it is my turn, Emilekon, and finally got the mandate of the people and was sworn in 2 years ago and removed fuel subsidy with that same willpower, if he wants, he can still make it a reality.
Okay.
I stand to be contradicted. I stand to be quoted.
No problem.
Yes, he has the willpower to make it a reality.
Until that happens, dear viewer, this is the much we'll take on this program today on the Arena on Aneke Television. I want to appreciate you in a special way for having participated. But our chief thanks goes to our guest, Honorable Dr. Nwanze Emeka, a principal lecturer in the Department of Public Administration, IMT Enugu. Many thanks to you for coming, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
I must tell you that you've been very resourceful on the show.
Thank you, sir.
I will look forward to calling on you from time to time. Hope you oblige our calls.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
God's grace.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dear viewer, that is it. That is it. Until we come again, I remain Chris Anibuogo, thanking you for being with us. Bye for now.